Okay, so welcome back. So freelancing is an appealing career choice, right? And like every other job, it requires for you to be hardworking, to be consistent, to be resilient. There will be challenges, just like there are challenges in your workplace as an employee, but you have to be committed to wanting to do this, okay? But before you even chose the area to dive into, we want you to ensure that the product or the services or the area or the niche that you're going to be going into is in demand. Don't go into a freelancing niche or try to offer a service that is not highly in demand. And that's the reason why digital skills lately is the way to go. Digital skills these days are in high demand. Everybody wants to be on the internet. Those people who are not already on the internet wants to be. Those ones who are already on the internet are looking for people to help them to be seen. So if you have any digital skills that makes life easy, makes work easier, helps people to be seen, helps people to sell their products and do a couple of things, then your product is going to be high in demand. So all you just need to do is to build an expertise in those areas. Please give me the charger. Is to build an expertise in those areas that are in high demand so you can begin to offer these services to customers who are willing to pay you for it. And like I said, because the internet is a new space, right? Many people are still confused as to how to get the many problems that they have on the internet solved. And that's the reason why the digital skills comes in handy. And one of the things that we made clear is the fact that freelancing does not necessarily mean it must be online. That's a misconception that people have. Freelancing does not mean you can even be a fashion designer and be a freelancer. It could be that you sew only when people request for it, or you sew or you provide personal fashion consultancy for a group of people. It could be that you're a hairstylist, but you're a freelancer. You offer your service to only celebrities, only to a group of people, maybe when they want to go for an event. So freelancing does not necessarily mean that you must be online. Freelancing can be that you are offering services that just you alone offer it, or there's a certain way that you offer it that aligns with the freelancing culture, basically. So do not think that freelancing is only for digital product. But the reason why I offer digital service, but the reason why it is more popular online is because the internet makes it a lot easier. And if you are freelancing online, the tendency for you to offer these services in the comfort of your own home, sitting on your bed, sometimes not going out for days, not having to go through all the traffic madness, or not having to go and sit down in a particular employer. So there's just quite a lot of benefits, basically. But like I said, whatever you chose to do as a freelancer, whether you want to do it full-time or you want to do it part-time and combine it with your full-time employment, make sure you choose a service, a product, or a niche market that is in demand. And whatever it is you do, ensure you provide the value that people need, or that you solve the problem that people are looking for solution for. And you do it also in the most simplified way possible. Because again, you want to make sure that the solution that you're providing is simplified. Okay, so ensure that the problem is solved in a simplified way. One of the other things you must also ensure is that when you're starting out as a freelancer, ensure that the service that you want to provide as a freelancer can be solved by you alone to begin with. So in the beginning, don't get into a freelancing sort of thing. Maybe you're offering a freelancing service in the construction sector, for example, and only you cannot deliver the service without the help of other people. There's a tendency that it might be frustrating. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be possible, but offer freelancing services, especially the digital skill related ones, that only you can do it to begin with. And that's again what is freelancing is basically about, right? So it's self-employment, you're all by yourself, you can deliver the service, you can solve the problem by yourself without having to have anybody else, contribute to it. So ensure you do not also require too many tools or too many equipments or machineries or materials to solve the problem. Ensure that with the little tools you have. So again, you can be a plumber and a freelancer, because again, these guys are even freelancers on their own, actually. There are some mechanics who may not necessarily have mechanic workshops. They just have their tools in their box. People know that they are mechanics. When their cars break down, they call them. Or when they want to do maintenance in their houses, they can just call the mechanic. They can go and help them do the maintenance, right? excuse me, but for that freelancer, he does not need a workshop. He does not need to have voice. He just needs to be able to have his own tools so that whenever there's a need for him to solve a problem, he just goes there and solves it, takes his money, and it's out. So, but again, like I said, above all, ensure that the customer actually get value for the service they offer you. Only then can you be guaranteed of repeat clients and a sustained business. Most of the freelancers that we already know in the various industries, like the mechanic I just mentioned, if they come to solve your problem with your fixing your car, and after they solve it 2 weeks after the same problem occurs, it means that you cannot call them again, okay? Because it means that they're not solving the problem, and that way their business will go extinct quickly. So you want to make sure that when people call you, you deliver the service, they get the offer, they pay you when next they need it. In fact, some of them will refer you. So even when they don't need that problem again, they don't have that problem again, they will tell other friends of theirs who have that problem to subscribe or to pay for your service because they've been able to prove that your service actually does solve the problem. So in conclusion, the point here is you must have a value that you're offering to your prospective customers, and that value must be communicated clearly. They should just see your promotional materials, and in a few words, they should have clarity about what your problem solves and what the outcome will be at the end of their usage of the service or the products that you basically are offering. So this is the end of my presentation today. I thought I was going to finish in just one meeting, but we're here now. So if you have any questions you want to ask me, like I said, this class is basically to give you clarity upfront about the world of freelancing, what you should do, what you should know, how to begin to set yourself up as a freelancer, how to make sure you have the value, make sure that the freelancing industry is for you, and then begin to carve out the products or the services that you need to offer. And then, of course, if you do not have them already, you want to acquire the skills now, some of the skills that we're offering, starting with data entry, graphic design, web design, project management, virtual assistant. There are quite a number of them, I think about 10 of them now that we're trying to list, are available for you to learn. And when you learn them, you can be freelancers both online and offline. And one of the things that I will be responsible to show you is how you can advertise to potential clients who need your customers within your community, aside from learning the digital marketing service. Yes, I do digital marketing a lot, but again, I want to be able to teach some of you how within your network, within your friends, your community, your family members, you can start from there before you even start talking about the big picture digital marketing where you have to expend money to advertise on Facebook or to advertise on Google Ads, and all those sort of things. So thank you very much for your patience. I can take questions. I see somebody's hand is already up. Lubem Tokura is already up. If you have any other question, you can ask, you can drop them in the chat box, you can raise your hand. I really like to engage. That way I can get to know you and even get to know your personal needs and see how I can provide support based on the information that I currently have or based on the capacity that I currently have. So please let us engage here on this platform so that we can get to know each other and we can get to see how we can support each other in the long run. What we're trying to do here is to build a community. If you're not already in our Facebook group, join our Facebook group, advertise your products there, engage with us on social media. Today, after this class, go to our Facebook page, especially my Facebook page, talk about what you're learning, talk about if this is impactful, talk about things that can make it better, talk about the fact that it's nonsense, it's not making sense, just talk about, give us feedback, let us just know so that as we continue to go on in building this community, we can continue to improve it every day as we go. So thank you very much. Okay, Lubem, let's hear you. Go ahead, Lubem.
Hello, Tunima.
Good evening.
Hello. Yeah.
Good evening.
I have some questions and I have some issues also. The first issue is that I have a friend that's a mechanic, and I was like, he should become a mobile mechanic whereby they order him online and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when you started, people were like, okay, we can patronize you, but you need to know where a specific where your shop is because of the way the country is now. Issue of kidnapping and people try some people's car and they race. Understand? People are they're no longer safe with like him be a mobile mechanic, only a mobile mechanic. You have to have a place that they go and where you work. You can order from there. And that's number one challenge. But secondly, I have my own business that I want to start. I've already designed my flyers and I've already registered and the business with a local organization, my state, in Plateau State, where I based. But
Okay.
now going to Abuja, going to raise some fund for that business. You
Okay.
understand? Now, the issue I have now is that it's on how to speak to people to get them to come like to buy my product more. But as
Okay.
I was just spoken about it, I've written some ideas on how to speak to people,
Mm-hmm.
on how to
Mm-hmm.
get the
Mm-hmm.
my product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then thirdly, so I love asking questions. Sorry, I have to ask questions.
Please go ahead.
Thirdly,
Go ahead. I love that you have questions.
thirdly, the issue of the visual assistant we are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a free training, or that will pay for it? Is it free or will pay for
Mm-hmm.
it? Because
Okay.
I think the visual assistant is something that is commonly is reigning now. Because
Mm-hmm.
most of the job I'm seeing now is something of visual assistant.
Mm-hmm.
The job I'm seeing now currently, and visual
Mm-hmm.
assistant on graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
These two are the one paying now. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're
Mm-hmm.
really paying here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, these
All
are my
right. Thank you very
questions.
much. So I'm going to take them one after the other. The guy who has a mobile mechanic shop, who people are asking him to have a physical place where he does his mechanic thing. Now, two things can happen. But first of all, I like to say something. The world is getting digital now. I know that Africa is behind. Nigeria is one place where these days somebody wants to do business with you. Even me, who runs a travel consultancy firm, I hear a lot of people say, I want to come to your office. My dear, I attend to, let's say, for example, in a month, if I respond to 100 clients, I get that question 70 times out of 100. But the people who can actually make it to my office to actually come and visit me to see where I am for security purposes and all that, they are not more than 10 out of that 100. Because again, people are looking for easier way to get things done in this digital world. Anyone who is insisting that they must come to know your shop or know where it is you offer your service, I'm sorry to say, but these days I tell them you are still thinking archaic. Do you know where Facebook office is before you decide to subscribe to Facebook? When you want to transfer money from one person to the other, or you're setting up a bank account and you're using the app, do you have to go to the bank? Is all the agencies not making life a lot easier for you so you can buy products digitally without necessarily having to see them? Anyone who impresses that upon you when you know you're doing a legitimate business, you can as well ignore them. But if you think that the questions are beginning to be too much and you think that you're losing a lot of customers from there, then somebody like that mechanic can decide to find another mechanic that he can broker a deal with, where he can use that place as his contact point for those people who insist on seeing him in a location. But that may not necessarily be his office. But at least that mechanic who he will broker that deal with will know him so personally that he can allow him to use that place as his address. But my point with this is that the world is digital now. 90% of the things we consume in our world today, like I said, I'm currently not in Nigeria at the moment. I don't know where NEPA office is, where the electricity office is. I don't know where all the things that I use, I just pay and I just see it show up, right? For electricity, it just shows up. For water, it just shows up. I just pay with my mobile phone and it just shows up. So this is the world that we're in today. It is digital. Everything is very soon. There's pretty much nothing that you're going to interface with to buy. So anyone who's always telling you, I must come to your office, I must come to your office, please ignore them. Not everybody will buy from you. Like I said, this training we're offering right here is for free. If I was offering it for 100,000, there will still be some people who will buy it, my dear. Okay? If I was offering this training for 200,000, there's a way I will package it and I will reach those set of people who would be sure they need it. So sometimes you're even offering something for free. Some people will still not buy it because it's free. So there's not everybody that can be your client. That's why you must describe clearly who your target market is and be sure that your target market is comfortable to buy from you based off of how you package your products and your services to buy. And again, if 100 people come in contact with your product, the tendency for maybe only 10 to buy is high. And that's why you must try to reach as much more people so that you can reduce the number to find the real customers who are willing to buy from you. Secondly, so tell your mechanic friend, if the request for where he physically is much more than the people who are willing to buy from him as a mobile mechanic, he can broker a deal with someone and he can have a physical connect in a place where somebody can come and see him. But if the demand for that physical connection is not too much and the people who are buying from his mobile product or mobile mechanic is much, he should just continue his business. He should just try to make sure he advertises more to the set of people who find it more convenient to buy from him because he can meet them wherever they are. And there is a tendency that those people who will prefer that he meets them wherever they are might be even more than the people who will impress upon him to make sure that they meet him somewhere physical. Because again, like I said, no matter what you sell, there will be a group of people who will prefer otherwise. But make sure that you are consistently meeting the people who would buy exactly the way you have the product uniquely, so long as it solves the problem, okay? The second question is about the virtual assistant. Like I said, our trainings on Push Africa platform at the moment, these digital trainings that we're offering and the freelancing classes that we're having is for free. But we request a certification fee of 10,000 for all our courses. And the reason we do this is to be able to sift the serious ones from the unserious ones. For example, in the data entry class that is currently going on right now, we had about 400 people who registered for that class. If that training was for completely free, you and I are here, right? We're doing this freelance training here right now. It's free, right? And there is going to be a need for certification for those people who want it. It's going to be optional. But I can tell you that the people who register for this class, for this batch, they are more than 500. But how many of you are here? It's free. Somebody's going to say, I don't have data. Somebody's going to say, because it's free, there's not going to be value. Somebody's going to have so many excuses but the people who actually need it are the people who are here. I know that some people might not be here real time. They may come later on and watch the replay, and understand. Like the first class, the day one class, we have about 250 people who showed up, even though they didn't all show up at the same time. So the point is that not everybody would buy your product, but the people who really do need it will pay the price or will pay the commitment or the requirement that it takes to partake in it. So our virtual assistant courses are free. Our data analysis course, for example, the data entry course, the exact, without exaggerating, the exact value for that 6 weeks class should be more than 50,000. But the only requirement to be part of that class is a certification fee of 10,000. And there are people who enrolled for that training. Like I said, there are almost about 55 of them out of about 400 people who subscribe for the training. So all our trainings, project management, virtual assistant, social media marketing, digital marketing, website design, all these courses that we're designing and providing on this platform, very soon we're going to digitalize it. Very soon you might not even necessarily meet me the way you're meeting me live. We're just trying to perfect it to a point where we can provide it for people to consume it, whether we're physically there or not. And then we can probably have like a live session where we're answering questions and providing some sort of support, to people. So there's a 10,000 certification fee for all of the digital courses that we're providing. And the certification fee for some of the courses are compulsory because it is a strategy to sieve the serious ones from the unserious one. But for this particular course that you and I are doing, the certification fee is optional. If at the end of this class, you think that you will need the certificate and you just want to have it to be impressed upon yourself that I attended a freelancing class, I partook in the class, I did the assignment, and I deserve to have a certificate to show for it, then you can take the certificate. But if you think you do not need it, then you can decide to go on, and any day, for example, yesterday, or was it a few days ago, there was a lady who did a training with me about 2016. This is about 8 years ago, right? The tuition fee for that course was 150,000. That class was for 2 weeks. It was a physical class, right? She finished that training. She paid, I think, around 80,000. She didn't have 70,000 to pay. And she reached out to me a few days ago and said, please, I need a certificate. Or apparently she wants to get a job and they're asking her for certification for the courses that she's attended. And she remembered that, there was a course she didn't take a certificate for. And she came back to me a few days ago and she had to pay the 70,000 to get the certificate. So sometimes the certificate might not necessarily be it, but you need it sometimes to be able to present to the people you want to engage with to say, I have done this training. I have the information that is required to, operate at this level, and you want to be able to present them. Sometimes, they can be used, not sometimes, as much as possible, they can be useful. Then the third question you asked was, okay, I think I answered the three of them: mechanic, certification, and virtual assistant, right? Or is there any other one? Lubem, please remind me. Lubem, if you're there, I think there's one other thing you said. I'm not sure.
Yes.
I've answered them, right?
Yeah. Thank you for breaking the this thing for me.
All right.
I really appreciate it. Then
Thank you so
also, I don't the issue of the visual assistant, ma.
Yes.
When is it starting?
We're looking at between October and November. So the thing is, we have to publicize the training. And like I told you, on the average, the target request is 500. When we get 500, there's a tendency that 50 will be serious, okay? So when we get 50 registered in the class, then we can go ahead and start. So between October and November. We will let you know exactly when that class will start.
Yes, and because I've been private chatting, please, Mash, if I'm on the face 50 that will get the link. I want to register. Then I have
No
to pay
problem.
a of time for the certificate.
No problem. No problem.
Then
Okay.
also the issue of I think that was the assignment.
Yes.
I didn't make it up the last this because of the issue of light, no light. So I was not
Okay.
having light to my place to charge my phone. So I don't know whether I can see the question for us again, the group chat.
Yes, we will do that. We will do that. We'll send it again.
Okay. Thank you for your time, man.
All right. You're welcome. Okay, so let's hear from Gift Daily and then we can close. Gift Daily, please go ahead and ask your question. You can unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, Gift Daily. Kindly unmute your mic if you're there. If anybody else has anything else they want to say whilst we wait for Gift Daily, you can bring them on. Madam Doris, the presentation on point, I think when you thank you. Please, where do I send my assignment? I am behind in my submission. Yes, we sent a mail to the group. I will send a WhatsApp. Okay, let me just put it here now for people who are here. The email address is teampushafrica@gmail.com. You can send your assignment there. I have been responding to your assignments. Is there anyone here who has never gotten any response to the assignment since we started?
Yeah, the first one, I have not attended, but the second one I've attended. I did my assignment.
Okay, so if they're in the box, I will respond to them, but I'm responding to everyone.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I think that'll be all. Gift, you want to say something? Please go ahead,
Good
Gift.
evening, ma.
Good evening, Gift.
Yes, ma. My question, I have a question, ma.
Go ahead.
I really want to understand what it means by the value. Based on what you said, that's my understanding based on what you said, is more like the value you're talking about is what we are putting out there for people to, get to see and then maybe want to maybe buy what we are putting out there. Is that what value is?
Gift,
That
what do you do? What do you do at the moment, Gift?
Okay, an educator as well as a fashion designer. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, educator in what sense? Educator in what sense? Let's deal with the service.
Like I'm a teacher. I teach regular classes, like pupils in class.
Okay, where do you teach, in school or privately?
Yes, in a school.
Okay, so let's say, for example, you decide to freelance as an educator, okay?
Okay.
And let's say you decide to teach, for example, students who are, let's say you decide to teach students, for example, who are preparing to write WIC. Maybe they are in SS1 or SS2 and their parents want them to prepare to write WIC.
Okay.
Passing WIC is the goal for the people who need your product, okay?
Yes.
So if you want to offer solution to those set of people who are writing WIC and you are trying to sell that product to a group of people who need that service, let me give you an example of how to put your value out for that specific product, okay? You can say, yes, for example, let me give you a catchy thing that you can put on your flyer. You can say, write WIC only once. Okay? Then you can write WIC only once with Gift Daily, for example. Right?
Okay.
Now, that simple presentation in your flyer has put out the value in simple terms. So it means that the person who's going to be buying your lessons for that particular, program, product that you're selling, knows that if they come to Gift Daily to do extra classes for maths, English, sciences, they're going to write WIC only once. Okay? So the value that you're offering is already clear in that flyer or in that value proposition or in that marketing material, for example. Now let's look at your second business. You say you're a fashion designer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's assume that in your fashion design service, okay, you make simple dresses. In fact, I've given some example here. There was a particular class that I attended. The lady She makes dresses for only a specific group of people. Now, some of you think that as much as I told you that if you want to sell to more people, you have to put your products in the eyes of more people. It does not mean that you have to put the products in the eyes of everyone, for example. That class I attended had a fashion designer who makes dresses for only lawyers. So she only makes white and black dresses. So it means that any lawyer who lives in Nigeria or who lives in the city where that lady is selling or is offering her service just knows that this lady is an expertise, or this person is an expert in making clothes for lawyers. So it means that the lawyers do not have to worry about being fashionable when they come to her. Okay, I'm just using that as an example. Let's say you, for example, you're a fashion designer. Of course, even in the fashion design business, there is a niche market. There are niches. Some people sell only male clothes. Some people sell only female clothes. Somebody like you, for example, can say, make simple, easy to wear dresses. You know, I'm just using an example of a flyer, for example. Or make, if your clothes is a high fashion, maybe like these people, like the Vicky James kind of people who make luxury clothes, you can make that clear that the kind of clothes that you make are luxury clothes for occasions. Okay. So
Yes,
what
ma'am.
we're trying to say invariably is that whatever solution you provide, whatever value you provide, make it clear to the specific group of people who need it. Don't think that you have to communicate to everybody. Sometimes just be specific with the people. Like I told you, for this training, I'm looking for unemployed people. I'm looking for people who do not have jobs. I'm looking for people who are considering freelancing. I made a short list of the kind of people that I'm looking for. So that way, I am offering a freelance training for beginners for this set of people, and they know exactly what the kind of people I'm looking for. So they already know the kind of value that they're going to get when they come to me. So in your fashion business, for example, you can say, make simple sit-at-home dresses with you, or we give daily, or make luxury dresses or high fashion, and just find the words that describe exactly the solution that you provide. That's basically what all I'm trying to communicate in terms of, you know, trying to identify what value you provide. I don't know if it's clear now.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear. I get it perfectly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so who else is there? If not, I think we can call it a day. I want to thank you all. Stella Maris, you've not been engaging in our class. Are you sure you don't have any questions? Are you sure you don't have any concerns? You don't want to make any recommendations? Should we continue to stay here on Zoom? Some people were recommending we should do YouTube. I thought that YouTube will require more data. You know, I like the fact that you can replay, but again, these particular videos are uploaded on YouTube again, and people can always still catch a replay. Should we stay here on Zoom? Because the reason why I actually refrained from using YouTube was because I feel like if we're using Zoom, I feel like it's an enclosed class and I'm speaking to a specific group. Because when I'm on YouTube, I don't even get to see all of you clearly. I don't get to see your name, and I don't get to know who it is I'm talking to. So sometimes it's a little vague. It feels like I'm presenting to the whole world. So I think we should stay on Zoom. Okay, Zoom is okay. Okay, thank you. Give Dele say Zoom is okay. Tell me, Zoom is okay. Okay.
Very fine. Yes, thank you.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Subsequent classes, I'm going to try to see how we can be as brief as possible. I really wish that we can do just 30 minutes presentation and maybe a 15 minutes question and answer, so we don't have to stay here for too long. But though I know that 1 hour is the time for the class, and we just got it's just 10 or 12 minutes past, but I really wish that we can just stay either within an hour or less than an hour. But all the same, thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you, Gift. Good night, everyone.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you so much. Good night,
ma'am.
Good night. Good night.